And what an amazing experience for Trevor to fly to space with Reagan, and thank you Trevor for sharing those experiences with us. Now, the excitement building here in the commentary box, we've just seen the 347, the judge tracks out in front of us. Then from the 451, all good today, thankfully, for 451, so we can still touch on at the start of the beautiful 2017 cycle. Today, so please do make sure you share them on Sywell 2024 social media pages, on X, on Instagram and on Facebook. It will be Sywell at Sywell 2024, at Sywell 2024, so please do tag all of your photos and videos on those platforms. Lots of interesting flying coming up, lots of variation in the programme, and I'll be talking you through it. Those who were here yesterday know I was joined by the historian James Holland. Sadly, James can't be here today. He had all the fonts of knowledge, well, he is a font of knowledge for all things historical, and he had all of these facts and figures in his head. I'm afraid I don't have quite as much information in my head, so you Generation Z people in the audience will be very proud to know that I'm relying on my good friend ChatGPT to help me out. So please don't fact check anything I say today, because it's ChatGPT who will be giving the information on a lot of the aircraft you're seeing today. But I'm getting very excited. The B-17 is lined up. The fire crew have gone out to just provide cover for.
I think so.
Day 2 of Sywell 2024 is go. The first round, P-51s is rolling along the runway.
B-78 roll. B-78.
Right on the runway now, and it's really just a taxi down, just pretty nice type of second start for the pilot. Kind of moving on that, but it's really just stunning formation of the B-17 Sally B and the P-47, the Jet, the Thunderbolt. Today the B-17 being flown by Captain Peter Kuipers. His co-pilot today is Darryl Tapp.
Mustang, rolling out.
Pretty much.
Request up on this sec. Mustang coming right. B-17, stop by brake. Brake. Go!
So Sally B pulls up and away from the PT aircraft. This aircraft was actually delivered to the USAF in 1945. It actually joined the UK register in 1975, so it's been flying in the UK at air shows for 49 years, and the current owner is Ellie Sallingbow, and she's been keeping this going herself for 43 years now, so it's great to see this aeroplane flying. It is the only flying fortress still flying in Europe, and it can't be done with a lot of support from air show goers.
Coming right.
So to keep this aircraft flying, there is no government lottery or other institutional aeroplane in the air. Into that left-hand turn, you can just see the bomb bay doors opening, the lovely noise from those four 1200 horsepower Wright Cyclone turbo supercharged radial engines. This aircraft weighs 25 tons and can do a max speed. For those who have seen the Memphis Belle, you know that quite often this aircraft was at the edge of its range limit when it went deep into enemy territory. Coming in now with the bomb bay doors open. Stories of these aircraft landing with holes in the wings, tails almost blown off, and they still made it home. So it was a very, very tough airframe.
I'm going to be rolling in for the first pass.
Now both port engines smoking as a tribute to all of those Allied airmen who lost their lives during the bombing raids over enemy Europe in the Second World War. Remember please, sallyb.org.uk if you want to donate to keep rolling down runway 21. We're going to go further underneath the Mustang. B-17 coming in to touchdown on the hard runway.
Mustang 3 and 4, line of turn, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Peter Kuipers and Darryl Tappin as they land the beautiful B-17 Sandy. Now looking to your left, here comes...
Go and get him. I'll tell you what.
A nice low fast pass to arrive. Pulling up into a loop, the cloud base obviously allowing a looping display by the P-47. Runs of that beautiful Pratt & Whitney double wasp engine. Was designed after a need to escort bombers on the long-range bombing missions, and the prototype of this aircraft first flew on May the 6th, 1941.
Barrel roll, it'll be a call at the end of the dogfight. Second, it can be a bit closer to the clouds.
Another nice high-speed pass from the right-hand side. Cam Rolf Smith putting the P-47 through its paces today. Good chuck for a nice tight barrel roll. You can see the incredible roll rate for such a large machine. Lots of power. And a very actually nimble aircraft. And again, this was an aircraft, much like the B-17, that sustained a lot of damage and still made it home. And I've seen photographs of a P-47 with an entire hole in one of its propeller blades, but it still managed to make its way home. Few stats for you. The max speed of the P-47 was around 430 miles an hour, at a range of about 800 miles, which could be extended with amazing. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Grumman Wildcat, the P-47. P-47, check for the blue shots. The two chasing blue shots, they painted to replicate Messerschmitt 109s. I've just seen a Mustang coming into land there. We've got one Mustang landing. As you look out to the left, the Bouchons are coming back.
Where are you now, John?
Taxi out, but in the Bouchons we have in the lead drive Grumman flag. The Hispano Bouchon belonging to the Aircraft Restoration Company.
Got it.
Eventually in the 50s fitted with the Merlin engines, and you recognise that sound as a Merlin. That's what's fitted to these Bouchons. And now the staying centre stage now, we have a trail formation. But does have a rear seat with dual control, so if you do want to fly, and you have silver, red and blue, with Jersey jerk, and you can do that here at Sywell with Airshow's ultimate wheelbase flight. So please do visit wheelbaseflights.co.uk if you'd like to have a flight in the back of one of these. They're just waiting for the Hurricane pair to roll. You can see those on along the harbour runway now. The first Hurricane head-on, as the second starts to roll.
Like they have been all year.
Oh, no.
So the Hurricane's right on clears the runway from the Bouchon as the Mustangs come in from the left-hand side. Performing another 12-hour roll. like the LP might be, and if you do lose anything, so get the message to me, and we can try and locate it for you. Here we go, left hand side now for our two American backgrounds. Beautiful loop. I just said Hawker Fury. Obviously that wasn't ChatGPT, everyone. That was me. It was the Hawker Nimrod, one of the biplanes that Hawker had before the Hurricane was developed. But we just had a beautiful loop flown by the lead, Trevor Dugan, Trevor and Gabriel. 60% of kills in the Battle Red were actually by the Hurricane over the Spitfire. The Hurricane was generally sent to go and attack the enemy bomber formations, whereas the faster and more climb-able Spitfire was sent to attack. Maximum speed of the Hurricane was about 330 miles per hour. And it could actually climb to around 35,000 feet, but it took a long time to get there. Trevor said on the radio they're tightening, so he's just promotion to us here in the crowd. Initially, the Hurricane was fitted with 830.3. Cameras ready as the formation comes in from the right hand side. And he said it was for recognition, so for ground forces they could recognise easily with a black and white underside it was a friendly aircraft.
Perfect.
up for the initial loop. He talks about how this aircraft really does sound like it's going very, very, very fast, just because the wooden fabric fuselage.
So as a way of saying thank you, we diverted it and didn't fly. I was going to put on the power and stuff because I was scared to death.
One of the other differences with the radiator directly under the cockpit, it's noticeable how hot the cockpit gets compared to the Spitfire with the radiator offset under the wing. So with the Hurricane, the cockpit would get a lot hotter. And I'm sure in today's temperatures, Trevor and Gabriel are feeling that as they perform in front of us. So they're coming over to the right now. I've got a feeling this might be their last pass.
Really?
So on the radio, he did indeed just say this will be their last pass. So please get your cameras ready to the right-hand side, the final pass of our Hurricane pair. A delightful performance in the Airshow. Please put your hands together for Trevor. Corsairs.
If I was going to war, I think this would be a good thing to go to war in. You know, it's got a very big fat wing. You pull a bit of G and it doesn't feel like the wing's bending or anything like that. Whereas the Spitfire kind of feels so delicate and nimble. But I think the important thing with the Hurricane is it can definitely do everything a Spitfire can do. It just does it about 20 knots slower. And certainly for a less experienced pilot, you can see that doing the same falling apart there than the Spitfire. We're hot in the cockpit though. You are sitting in the cockpit with the radiator, which isn't much fun. Especially when the radiator temperature gauge is at over 100 degrees C. You sort of open the canopy a bit thinking it might get better, but sometimes it gets worse. But they've all got these kinds of problems. Paul Bond's just about to give us a show in the Sea Fury in a bit, and I can assure you that the cockpit of that is so unpleasantly hot.
You've got a lot of experience maintaining Spitfires and Hurricane. Would you say that with that structural method it is actually easier in reality?
No, it's a complete nightmare. With a Hurricane, it's not if it's not when it's broken.
Yeah.
And then they would be beamed back to the company who would then decide whether or not. So pinning off in the back formation, giving us the centre routine, it's Stu Goldsmith in the Grumman Wildcat.
outstanding Pratt & Whitney twin wasp rated engine there, producing around about 1200 horsepower. Max speed of the Wildcat was 320 miles an hour. It could climb to 34,000 feet. Running in now towards us on the B-axis, coming in directly ahead. Designed as a Harrier-based fighter aircraft. It was used by the US Navy and the Marine Corps during the Second World War. It was very crucial in the early stages of the war in the Pacific. Tough aircraft. It was known for its ability to absorb damage and still get its pilots back safely. Relatively basic aircraft. At night, middle of the sea, very difficult for the pilots to do. Now in from the left, Stu Goldsby finishing his routine in the Grumman Wildcat. Right, so that is the Wildcat finishing. We've got the Corsairs sorted to run in. I'm joined in the commentary box by
advanced industrial techniques, so a lot of the aircraft is actually spot welded. Most aircraft at the time were riveted, but this has got a lot of spot welding, a lot of pressure formed metal. An amazing aircraft, terrific performance, as you can see from the aircraft running in now. That's an aircraft owned by the Fighter Collection from Duxford, flown today by Brian Smith, one of our most experienced worldwide pilots. So Lewis formation flying is driven by the guys on the wing, but in actual fact, the guys on the wing cannot do their job if the leader is not flying smoothly. Although Brian did say yesterday that his early aircraft with its three-blade propeller is a little... Running out on this pass, a total of 6,000 horsepower coming past from left to right. Can't quite see from here, but I think on the right wing is a visitor from France, He's flying this aircraft, he's actually flying his Spitfire 14 later on. He's come in from France from a three-generation aviation family. They're based down in Ferté-Alais, which is a little grass airstrip down just to the southwest of Paris. They're equivalent of our old modern Shuttleworth collection. And his grandfather, father and himself have all flown vintage aeroplanes. They specialise in a lot of First World War aeroplanes, but they've branched out into the Second World War stuff. And he's out on the leader's right at the moment as they make this pass. Again, the gentleman from France started his career as a Mirage pilot in the French Air Force. Got gives you lots of military experience, gives you all that formation experience, and he's taken that into his civilian career, and he's a full-time pilot with the Red Bulls, and you'll see him a little bit later on flying at the same position, but this time flying that lovely silver P-38 later on. And the reason for that is that the decks in the carriers, they were straight deck. So if you missed the arrestor wires, you went into a barrier halfway down the deck, and they had to extricate you from it. So the aircraft was capable of over 400. As I said, the aircraft was initially introduced in Europe, and carriers over northwestern Europe.
Roger, to Bravo, runway 2, flight QNH 1020, 1005, and Bravo, runway 2.
Putting with the gear and taking the 3 feet off the wingtips meant the aircraft didn't bounce anymore. So it looks like the Corsairs are broken up, they're not going to sort themselves out and get into the landing.
We're ready for the Bearcat.
Yeah, so we've actually followed almost the exact chronology of the Navy fighters, of US Navy fighters. So we started with the Wildcat, the Tank Reporter, obviously not forgetting the Bearcat, which is the Grumman follow-up to the Wildcat. So we went to the Bearcat, putting it in the northeast, I've seen something like that now with this aircraft, which is my personal dream of electric flying around there, everybody's listening to that. Well, my big Kinsey, one of our most experienced warbird pilots, he's got thousands of hours of knowledge in this. I know for a fact that this is his favourite aircraft. And it's a very jammy semi-surface because it's got a blue gap just where he needs it. So the aircraft was designed in 43-44 to actually take over from the Hellcat. And the problem in 1944 was the kamikaze aircraft in the Western Pacific. And what they needed was an aircraft that could get airborne off the carrier, suck its gear up, stay at full power, point the nose up and climb at least 4,000 to 5,000 feet a minute to intercept the kamikaze aircraft coming in and taking out the US Navy ships. And that's exactly what they managed to do for them. They took exactly the same engine that was fitted to the Hellcat on the Corsair, that same R2800. Which you've also seen demonstrated in the P-47 earlier on today. And they basically took the absolute minimum airframe they could actually attach to the back of the engine, little wings, little fuselage, made it as light as possible. And this is the actual result. Incredibly light, but very, very powerful. And I think it still holds, I can be corrected, I think it still holds the class of aircraft, time to flight, time to height, shall I say. It makes 10,000 feet in probably less than 2 minutes. And Peter's demonstrating that capability right now. He's probably actually using continuous military power.
I was about to say, he's always flying like a modern day competition aerobatic aircraft.
Indeed, I can see with a very short wingspan, it means the aircraft rolls very quickly. Pete's got a long track record of winning aerobatic competitions. Back in the 60s and 70s, I actually did so he takes all those aerobatic capabilities and the aircraft with this capability. Incomparable, I would say. Interesting fact number 23 about the Bearcat. They were quite worried about the amount of first design of the aircraft incorporated the outer 2 feet of the wingtips having the explosive bolts on them. So if the pilot pulled too hard, the explosive bolts would activate and blow off the outer 2 feet of the wingtips, thereby reducing the stress on the wings. But when they did the test, the wingtips often didn't come off symmetrically, which made the problem doubly worse, so they've been that idea. Probably did just as well for the Japanese Air Force, but sadly for the US Navy, the aircraft actually was on carriers being taken out to the Pacific as the attempt given one of these to take. Because they're under training command until I think the early 50s, and they were in actual fact the very first air display team the US Navy put together, the Blue Angels, which are obviously famous now for their flying with their dark blue F-18s in the States. The first aircraft they used was a Captain 4 ship, which ran for I think about 2 or 3 years before they started flying their first jets. Operations against rebels, etc. But I say it was generally outmoded by the jet. The speed comes right from the pass. There's Brian. Wave at Brian as he tucks in the yellow-nosed Corsair. Super job leading those Corsairs, Brian. The second Corsair, that's Baptiste was aircraft in the one from France. Shooting taking his helmet off, having a bit of a walk down, and then they're walking down the corridor with the detail of the most personal inspection and later in all split out the way. These drones in the incubation orbits have about 16 weeks of incubation orbit, and then demonstrating the fabulous mechanical abilities on the we have 46 aviation for the Wildcat demonstration, and then follow simply close the throttle, pull the stick back, and work up the chassis. So it looks a very jazzy modern aeroplane, but in actual fact it was a basic training for the United States Air Force and Navy, first through the late 1930s, and they built thousands of them, which is just as well because the student broke quite a lot as well. Much stronger than the old Tiger Moth, which is basically a bit of dope and wood. This is a metal aeroplane, but covered in fabric. Very strong. And after the war, London was converted into cotton. There's still a lot of trust in the pilot who happens to be one of husbands. Emiliano is superstar and down with good communications. Look, she's still managing to wave her arms as she's being faced by about 120 mile an hour airflow and also being put under the G-forces as she squats to the top of this waving her arms, she may well have her leg extended in front, moving in there as she's facing all this. So now she's facing all the negative G. She's still strapped to the top of the airplane, waving her arms, just about doing about 40 spacing with that 120 mile an hour
cross airflow going right straight into her body. Lots of flies, no doubt, hitting her face. I know she was wearing goggles, but even so, that must hurt a bit when a fly comes and hits you at 120 miles an hour. Now, I got to just thinking, if you don't really want to just be like this thing inside a tumble dryer, as a step of glass down in and it slips back down again, you've got some big waves now. Danielle's unstrapped from the harness. She's waving at us. She's now standing on the top of the wing. But she's moving again. So as Emiliano is flying the aircraft around, Danielle is actually positioning herself around the aircraft's top wing. Looks like she's now standing on top of the front cockpit of the aircraft. Big wave to Paul Bonhomme as he's super steerman. And where is Danielle now? Nice slow pass for us in from the right. A little bit of puffing smoke. She's now that can't be very easy.
I don't hear you volunteering, Mike.
I was meant to do it around 14 years ago. I was offered to do some wing walking, but I just dislocated my shoulder, so I thought it wasn't a very wise idea.
And I think this is truly wing walking. There are a lot of organisations in this country where you can actually be strapped to the top of the wing to experience the flies at 120 miles an hour. But to actually get out of the cockpit and move around is quite hard.
The aircraft flies over left to right in front of us. When it turns around, I think you'll see something quite extraordinary.
Has she gone back in the cockpit, has she?
No, even better than that.
I haven't seen this yet.
Maybe she has gone back in the cockpit. Puffing smoke. Look, she's actually walking out onto the left wing. She's now between the wings. She's now waving across the struts, waving as she goes past right to left. She's on the wing of that steerman.
I think the last time I saw that was in the film with the Great Northern Cockpit.